while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong. I guess I felt.
Welcome back to Ljubljana in Slovenia for the International Skating Union's Junior Grand Prix Series. I'm Mark Henriette and delighted to know that I'll be joined by Ted Barton back home in Canada. We've seen the women's short program already, and now is the turn of the men's event, with the likely favourite to be the United States of America's Jacob Sanchez, having won his first Junior Grand Prix in Ankara, but also a really heartwarming story to know of the final competitor in this group being David Sedej, who skates for Slovenia and who lists this as his home city. So I'm sure lots of emotions rife. Make sure you join us for the men's short program. And they're beautiful sights of this fantastic old town, which I think Ted Barton is very envious that I have been able to see this week as you join from afar.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in British Columbia, and as I look at that sign, the beautiful shots from our drone in Ljubljana, brings back such wonderful memories over the many years. And you had said there's 11 times the Junior Grand Prix has gone to Ljubljana. I've been there, I think 4 or 5 times, perhaps, not sure, but it's dear to my heart, that's for sure. As we are live now inside the arena, it's a pretty big arena for being a small building somewhat. You've got seating on both sides and not a lot of audience. Of course, at this point, it'll be more in the weekend. As we take a look at the officials for this event, the men's short program, we had great skating in the women's just a little while ago, and as we take a look at the technical panel as well, what can we expect, do you think, here, Mark? You've been watching some of the practices.
Well, oh gosh, in practice is such a mixed bag again, and so many of the skaters, I feel like those that are later in the Junior Grand Prix Series, or indeed the Senior Grand Prix Series, perhaps a little more pressure applied to the potential contenders in the events, because then the stats are a little bit more aligned as to who may make the final cut for the top 6 very, very highly coveted spots for the final in Grenoble in France. And Jacob Sanchez was looking good, as I predicted from the opening, but I also just wonder whether or not in this group, Haru Kakiuchi, who comes in with a 4th place from Bangkok, whether or not he can indeed be somebody in contention. And indeed, Habin Choi looked strong too, but he comes in with just a 6th place in Bangkok, so chances of qualifying quite remote as the event unfolds.
Yeah, Jacob Sanchez was really impressive in Ankara. You know, his speed and his flow and his confidence, and he talked about in the interview that I do with him after the win, that he was a short program skater and he had to learn and focus on, although not ignore the short, but he had to focus on training the free program to get more confidence and consistency, and he certainly demonstrated that in Ankara. We'll see whether he can duplicate that here in Ljubljana. As we take a look at the first group on the ice, the first skater coming out, Gianni Motilla from Italy, or from France, pardon me, will open with the triple axel, in fact, and we have one other skater in group number 1 with the triple axel. So we'll see how many triple axels will be delivered in the men's short program as we get started on the second event on day number 1. Any questions coming in from viewers around the world, Mark?
Yes, indeed, and thank you to those that have sent in questions to the International Skating Union, held the social media, the Instagram site, looked after by the very capable hands of Teresa Marca, who is quite brilliant. And she has shared with us some of the questions.
Just quite?
Oh, she's
quite? I think she's really brilliant. No,
isn't she?
As our whole crew is.
They all are. And I mean, gosh, I try to do social media, but these guys, they do it so much better.
Yeah.
questions coming in. Any insights from Shanghai Trophy for us? And that comes from @Connie_Sabine. And those of you that are familiar to the skating world, you'll know what to Google search for. And Shanghai Trophy, an event taking place, unsurprisingly, in Shanghai. And it's a very small number of entrants in each event. And in the women's short program, Cheon Kim is leading the field ahead of Brady Tennell. And wonderful to see Brady Tennell from the United States of America back competing after breaking her ankle. That's wonderful to see. Yeonwan Cha in the men's event, skater from Korea, former world medalist who had a tough season last year, showing a great start to this season with a 92.28. And our friend from the commentary now, Jason Brown, he competed. I think he had a fall in the triple axel, but he's third of the 6 men there. And Charlene Guinap, Marco Fabri, the world bronze medalist, they lead with a strong 84 points in the rhythm dance. And pairs had, I just saw the results of the pairs. I hadn't checked in on that. Maria Pavlova and Alexis Fiatchenko, the Hungarian team, lead that. And actually that event also has synchro in it as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's a very interesting and different event, including synchro. I thought it was used to be also short track, or maybe that was, I don't know if it has that now, but maybe I got the wrong event. I'm not sure, but I thought it was that as well.
Well, that's interesting because obviously there are some initiatives by the International Skating Union to work with the Chinese Skating Federation, and I think promoting short track is an aspect of that. And that's certainly the Shanghai Open is an invitational event, a bit like the Japan Open, whereas also happening, which we talked about throughout the women's event, was the Challenger Series taking place in Kazakhstan, the Dennis 10 Memorial. And skating fans that have been following the sport for more than a decade will know of the wondrous skater from Kazakhstan, Dennis 10, who tragically was killed. And this memorial event for him is now increasingly popular in terms of numbers of entrants. I feel like more and more skaters are placing that on their calendar of events. And in that competition, you have, I think I mentioned earlier, Anastasia Gubanova, who leads ahead of Uliana Shirayeva from the rink that you work in, Ted.
Yes, and that was a great delight when I opened up the results, and I expected Uliana to get out in her first senior and do well, hopefully in the middle of the pack, but she finds herself in second place with outstanding scores in the PCs as well as technical. We know that she's been a technical skater, but she's working really hard on developing the connection with the music, and obviously on this day, I haven't seen it, but on this day, she must have really done so, finds herself in second place, and now just has to focus, as all the skaters do, on put that in the past, move forward to the free.
Other questions that have come in from @Caroline Margaret. She says, doesn't Sofia Akateva hold the Junior Grand Prix record for women? So we're just talking about things that obviously took place in the women's event which preceded this, and I was mentioning some skaters that had landed triple axel, triple toe. So in the women's event today, Sophie Jolene von Felten from the United States of America landed triple axel, triple toe, and she's one of only 2 women who have done that in the junior short program. And so we're just talking about that. And the record for a junior women's short program actually doesn't come from Akateva, but from Alina Kostanaya, and she had a 76-point short program. And in terms of the men, it is, I am sure, oh gosh, now is it Ilya Malin? I'm pretty sure, let's mention it. Ilya Malin, 88.99, and that was the score that Ilya used at the 2022 World Junior Championships. If we get any scores anywhere near that, I'd be very impressed today, but I think some may have taken in for over 80.
Yeah, exactly. So we get started. Men's short program on day 1 here in Ljubljana, week number 6. We move on to Wuxi, China, for week number 7, the final on the Junior Grand Prix.
Representing France, Gianni Motilla.
And Malika Tahir encouraging her student Gianni Motilla onto the ice. The 17-year-old, born in Clamart. And this a skater, like many of the French skaters who had to compete at the French Masters event last week. And he won the junior men's short program with a score of 60.05 a week ago.
Wow, you know, so unfortunate with that triple flip. Opens up the program, nice double axel, triple lutz, triple toe, just a beauty. And skating really well, then made that triple flip too big. He was open on the way up, tight on the way down. And when you're tight, you're going to spin, which is what you want to do, but on the way up, not on the way down. You need to open up, check it out. And that was really unfortunate, take that fall on the triple flip. Now, he had in his program the triple axel plan. He chose not to do that, and you can see that was intentional, just to do the double axel. There it is. Nice flow and speed. Great pop off the takeoff. Watch the triple lutz. Here it is. Nice and tight in the air. Up into the triple toe loop. Makes that look really easy. Maybe want to point the toe on the landing. Toe police. There's the triple flip. You can see it open on the way up on kilter. Takes the lean. Too far back on the heel. Has to take the fall. That was cool. Nice catch, Mark, on the replays.
It's because it's early in the event. I'm still panicking about the button.
Got lucky. Got lucky. No, you did a great job. And the change combination spin at the end of program level 4. Now, the flying camera was 3, steps were 2. So there's still some points to be gained on those 2 elements. As they sit in the kiss and cry.
And I think for Gianni, obviously competing in the French Masters last week, she's had a busy season already. He competed in Bangkok, then they travelled back to compete domestically, and obviously now in Slovenia as well. It's a difficult schedule. Sometimes it can play to the advantage of the skater because they can run from the success of last week's event at the French Masters into this, but obviously the triple flip costly. He's lost at least 3 points on that, so that will make it difficult to beat what he achieved last week on a domestic event.
It's a good point. Back-to-back can be positive, but it also can cause problems. But let's take a look at the score. Season's best, though, 56.68. And he's sitting there going, wow, what would it have been if I nailed that flip? But he's the first skater out in the event with the season's best.
Malika.
Talking about the takeoff, yeah, opening that shoulder up.
And now to the second of the competitors, just off the podium in Thailand, 4th in Bangkok, Haru Kakiuchi. He said that after Bangkok, he really wanted to put the triple axel back in the program, but the repetitive practice exacerbated an injury that had ruled him out from including it in his planned program content previously. So playing safe, but hoping for a clean skate to showcase his quality.
what a nice performance by Haru Kakiuchi from Japan. Really solid all the way through, and chose not to do the triple axel here, but skates a clean program to a passionate piece of music. And just amazing the speed that these skaters learn the elements and then deliver them at a higher level. You don't see a lot of difference between junior and senior Japanese skaters. They all have the same skating skill level of speed, flow, multi-directional turns, all of that. It's ingrained early on in their development. Let's take a look at some of the elements inside this program, and see the double axel right off the top. Good flow on the back edge, across the ice, nice and easy, not huge. And skiddy takeoff. There's the triple flip. That was easy. Straight back, pointed toes. There you go, Mark. Those toes are beautifully pointed. Here's the triple lutz. Gets the free leg back right away. Pushes up. Nice clearance on the triple toe loop. Maybe a little bit of a tight curve. Want to have that flow out a little bit more across the ice for the Gioina. Gioina, just as a reminder for those people that don't know what that means, it's the quality of the element. Every element, technical element, has a base value, and you can add points through good quality or remove points through specific errors that the judges must follow. So a technical panel delivers, of course, what the degree of difficulty is.
And Haru is so grateful for all the support he has, all the people part of his team. So he acknowledged that Stéphane Lambiel, one of his choreographers, is here on site. Ghislain has emailed him to support. His coaches Yutako Nakamitsu and Keiji Tanaka are watching from back home in Japan. And it's just wonderful to hear him acknowledge so many contributors alongside Sayaka Yodo, his other coach, is supporting the athlete. And I just think, I can't stress enough how glad I am to hear of that respect and gratitude that the skaters host and boast.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the scores. So he has a 69.99. He is his personal best in the short program. But on this day, he earns a 68.07, just a little bit shy of his personal best, but that will put him in first place early on in the competition.
He has earned in the short program 68.07 points, which brings him currently to the first place.
Hasn't budged in that kiss and cry. Had his smile, you know.
And now to the 14-year-old Habin Choi, who actually this time last year was competing at the Dennis 10 Memorial in Kazakhstan, and he won that competition. But this year his success at the Korean Junior Grand Prix qualifying event has allowed him 2 Junior Grand Prix.
Habin Choi from Korea finishes the short program. And also another skater leaving some points on the table with the levels of difficulty. 3 on the steps, that's understandable in junior, but 3 on the spins. You want to get those 4s. Are certainly capable of doing that. 1 out of the 3 spins is in a level 3. But some really other beautiful qualities. Triple S, triple toe, triple axle at the top of the program. We'll run that nice and slow, right? Mark on the takeoff, and you watch how tight that takeoff edge is. Some release it into a bit of a skid, and some are tight, which is really risky, but carries the flow. Watch here. This back outside edge, pretty good. Not so much outside, but watch him here turn that corner right off the end of that edge. Just beautiful pickup. That was sweet with a 1.9, almost a 2 points extra on the quality, the GOE score. There's the triple Lutz. Reloads quick enough to get up and squeezes out a triple toe loop, and then takes the fall. That's an under rotation as well on the toe loop. So that was costly. And the rest of the way, he had, you know, pretty good program. It made me forget about that fall, in fact.
Yeah.
And there's the triple flip.
Interesting just to consider as we see the closing spin, the program components versus the technical element score, because the components for Habin and Haru, who who's leading the field at this stage, are comparable, both at 33 points. But Habin Choi's tech score is 3.5 points higher, and that's with the fall on the triple axel. So that's with the fall on the triple toe. So it's just interesting to see how the value of that triple axel has helped Habin to extend a lead over somebody that went clean.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's risk and reward if you've nullified the risk by doing the element. Let's take a look at the short program scores for Habin Choi from Korea. And his personal best is 74, but he's a 70.97, and you can see the coach going, that's pretty good. Now he gets it too, right? First place with that fall. They're pretty happy with that, and that's a good indication of his overall quality and where he stands amongst the field, even with that mistake. And that's nice to see.
And now to one of the skaters that we saw competing last week in Gdansk, Matvii Yefymenko. Slight costume change, different trousers, I believe, as he skates to.
You have a memory. Like, how would you know that?
He will skate to You and I by the Scorpions.
Wow, those are some hard falls by Matvii, and unexpected. And we'll take a look at those in slow motion. He gets on a lean and not very high. So there's a sort of a mispick a little bit on the takeoff. Didn't get a lot of height and hits the ice before he's expected and takes 2 hard falls.
Yeah, they were painful falls. They were not comfortable at all.
And leaving, again, some points on the table with the steps at a level 2 and the spin to level 3. Let's take a look. This double axel was a little bit off lean in the air. You can see it leaning outside, but he saves it by getting the free leg back in time. And a little messy, but got it done. And this triple, let's slow this down, Mark, here. This is a really hard fall. It's a bit of a shocker for an athlete to take a hard fall like this.
Oh,
does that change of edge. Really mispicks. Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't get the lift. Too far forward. Ouch. And that's a bit of a shaker. Here comes the triple flip. Now this is also a mispick right in there. A bit of a slip. It doesn't lift up as high. Barely gets around, but at least stands up on this one.
He did well to
that's
stand
under
up.
Rotation. Yes, yeah, he did. And it's under rotation as well, as we cut right to the, to the end.
And, you know, we've seen, it's interesting when we consider the back-to-back events, which we talked about previously as being a benefit for many of the skaters. For Matvii, maybe perhaps like the French skater Gianni Motilla, who also skated domestically last week, it's not to his credit. Maybe we'll see as the event unfolds whether or not it's different for different disciplines and different athletes.
Yeah, if your first outing was a little bit negative, it's hard to come back right away in the second week. But if it's a little bit positive, then you run off of that positivity, and it's a positive experience. And week number 2 may not be as good, but 38.92 for Matvii. That'll put him currently into 4th place. Certainly not the skate capable of or looking for, but on this day it is what it is.
92 points, and he's currently on the 4th place.
Well, we've referenced the skaters who have competed in back-to-back events, with this being the second of their competitions back-to-back. This skater, Benedek Pal Dozsa, will compete next week in the Budapest Trophy. So this is the start of a busy couple of weeks for this skater. And he will skate to the familiar sound of Ludovico Ainaudi's Experience.
Benedek Pal Dozsa from Hungary. That was a solid performance for this young man. He's at that level. He's not doing triples yet or triple axel, but for what he has in his arsenal, he delivered it really nicely here in the short program, and he should be very happy with that performance.
And when I think of the Hungarian test skate in August, he was third in that event, and his short program score then was a 42.97, and that's presumably what's given the Hungarian Federation the green light to send him here, and he's come out here and he's significantly improved upon what he delivered in that qualification round.
Yeah, federations and coaches need to look at where the skater's at, not where where they might be able to go with their abilities. That triple flip was nice. It's point to toe, stretch that out a bit, qualities, but well executed. As we see the triple Salchow, and now it said on the plan program sheet he was maybe going for the triple Lutz, triple toe loop, or double toe loop. He went for the Salchow. Maybe the Lutz isn't ready yet. And maybe it was a good decision because he had a nice, clean, short program here, gaining some confidence.
Yeah, and from a little bit of study about Benedek in previous events, I don't think that he's done triple Lutz yet in competition. So having it in the plan program content suggests that he was on the brink of it, and it was happening in practice,
exactly.
but then not maybe 100% confident to go for it. And on this occasion, the this plan worked. And so I'm not sure what international scores he's had. Competed in Ljubljana at the Dragon Trophy previously, but certainly at that domestic event it was a 42, and it's going to be much higher than that. Well, not much higher, but a fair bit.
Yeah, he looks pretty happy in the kiss and cry. Solid program coming off. You know, and that's all the athletes can do is they know their level of what they would consider to be a good program for themselves. And if they do that, then they're going to take a look at the scores. I'm going to say, okay, this was a good program for me, but my score is this, and it's that far away from where I want to be. So now I understand what the gap is. Then you got to look in the program, the report card, and find out, well, where are these other young men getting their points from? More difficulty, more quality. 46.61 for Benedek Pal Dozsa from Hungary. That will put him currently into 4th place. There is a look at your top 5 on the leaderboard in this event.
61 points, and he is currently on the 4th place.
Well, the theme continues for skaters that have competed back to back, because the next skater, Casper Johansson from Sweden, competed in Gdansk last week. Now, I believe this will be Casper's final ever Junior Grand Prix short program based on his age at present. So after a long and fairly illustrious Junior Grand Prix career, this is a special moment as he skates to apologize by One Republic.
Well, Mark, I commented last week in Gdansk about how much Casper's upper body movement and choreography and committed to the choreography has improved, from last season to this season. It's really good. But I didn't talk about his ability to put the strap back on his boot or from his pants during the performance.
Isn't that incredible?
It was unbelievable. He missed it first time going down the ice to put that strap back together in the program, but then he put it back together in the spin. He's in a spin. We'll hopefully see that, where he's working while he's doing the spin, getting points. He's putting the strap back together. Amazing. Let's take a look at some of the elements.
That kind of blows my mind. Like here, the trousers are fine. Still good.
There's the flip. Nice. And the double axel, great ride off the end of the edge. Good flow, twizzle, hands above the head. So lots going on.
And here it's got, and I took this because he had a clear example of the obvious attempts at the features, the fly, the butterfly, the catch. I was wondering if the panel would consider this a change of camel position. That came in at 4, but at this point we can see him then struggling to try and get it.
He
laughing
tried
at
to
his
put
coach.
the strap together. There's the triple Lutz, triple toe loop. Focused on that. The strap is still off. And I don't know if you got the spin there. Right there. He's putting the strap back together while he's in a sit spin. That was incredible. I've never seen that before.
Amazing. And
great ability to focus, Mark, during a distraction of your pants strap. Wow. Even the coach was laughing when he was getting off the ice. And he's got the smile on his face now, too.
It just makes you wonder, like, there should be points for that level of focus.
This young man is highly talented to be able to do a clean program with the strap situation. 62.85, good score for Casper Johansson from Sweden. And that would have currently in the 3rd place. And now they laugh about that situation. And I've never seen that. Wow. Very cool. Oh, not cool, but well done.
And he's currently in the 3rd place.
Okay, that concludes our first group. In the men's short program, 3 to come. Group number 2 takes to the ice for the 6-minute warm-up. There is a look at the start order for group number 2. Now, carrying on, Mark, do we have questions that have come in that are answerable? Or,
yes, it's actually a really good question and one that I previously didn't have an answer to, but I think I have a suggestion. So the question comes from @Crystal Ball Sophia. Are there any rule changes that you would like to see implemented?
Okay, you go.
Okay. So having thought about it a little bit, and I have heard this rumored by others, it's just logistically, I think, impossible. The concept that you could perhaps have a different panel of judges either for the program components as a whole versus the technical element score, or what would be even, I think, more amazing would be to have judges for each of the different program component scores. So currently we have 3 components: composition, presentation, and skating skills. And the judges have to assign scores for each of those, and they have to input grades of execution for each of the 7 elements in the short program. I have heard it suggested by others that they should have 2 different panels with different jobs. And I actually agree with that. I think I'd go even further as to suggest, like I say, different judges for different components. So you've got real experts in their field. The problem is the logistical challenge of that would just be financially and logistically enormous, and it's already such a huge challenge, obviously, to garner the judges for these events who all give up their time. But that's my thought process in regards to that. Ted.
Okay, so let me work off that a little bit, because I worked on the system as it was being developed. There was always talk about that possibility. Now, you're never going to make friends with judges when you suggest that they're not able to do what they have to do, and so they would be upset naturally at that, because they've been traditionally trained to be able to do all those things. But the sport is so complex now. I think the concept, the technical panel concept, was accepted and is now a big part of our sport. And so you've got the technical identification of the degree of difficulty of these elements, fine. You've got the PCs and the GOEs. Now, the PCs and the GOEs are certainly more doable by the judging panel as well, and they love doing it, and for the most part do a pretty good job. But if you're thinking that it is a difficult process, it is. It's a lot. You've got how many elements? 11 elements in a free program, perhaps. You've got how many scores to give that? It's a lot of work that has to be done, and how accurate can you be on all of those? So there was discussion before, and maybe recently, I don't know, but to have a GOE panel and a PC panel. And so I think the concept, it doesn't change judges. The judges won't lose out. They'll either do one or the other, right, rather than doing both. So I don't think it changes the logistics of it. You still need the judges there. It depends on what they're going to do. Right now, all the judges do all the same things, right? So you could split that up. Now, that's just hypothetical discussions and talk and all that kind of stuff. And some people in our sport would say, no, hey, listen, it's like commentary. You know what they can do with commentary? They can have AI. Yes. They don't need us. They can just have AI, whatever. So everybody fears with what they're doing in their life, how changes will impact their life as opposed to how it impacts the sport. And can the sport be better, more accurately assessed by splitting those duties? And there's debate on both sides. So I'm going to walk the fence on that one and say I can see the good in both.
And I think the other thing to consider in the discussion of it is then the training. So all of the judges are trained quite extensively with the abundant criteria. If you were to separate, then perhaps you would then have to have a whole new process of the qualification for a judge to become ISU championship level. So each of the judges that are here have to be sufficiently experienced in domestic events in their respective nations, and then they have to have a certain level of international competitions before they can then go up the scale, the ladder of officials qualification. And so if you were to then give new criteria, then of course you would then have probably
I don't know. I don't know why would it change? The judges now do GOE plus PCs. The point is not that they can't do it. It's just that it's a lot to do. So they already have the training. Why would that change? It wouldn't change. You already have the judges there. Because they're just going to focus on one aspect.
Yeah, because for me, I think if I was to go and just look at the composition or the presentation, I think I could have vastly different presentation component for some skaters to the skating skills. Now last week when we were in Gdansk, I did see more variation, which was really good. But
what would the problem be with that? With what you just said, there's no problem with that. That's what they're wanting to do.
Yeah, I could conceivably have some skaters 3 or 4 point difference from their skating skills to their presentation to their composition. But I think that for the judges, it's maybe they've just got so much to input that they tend to stay in a confined corridor. And also, we've got to acknowledge that there isn't an official assessment commission. There's a committee to regard all of the inputs for the judges. And should any judges' components or grades of execution fall drastically out of line with the others, then it's picked up on, and then it's, they have to account for that to the OAC. And so perhaps that's the reason that the judges tend to go within a narrow corridor, because they don't want to be out of line. Whereas I think, and this is why I'm definitely not a judge, is that I think I could vary greatly between my 3 different composition scores, and I'd be called up every time. Anyway, enough said.
Every time you'd be out after one, but
exactly.
No, just kidding. No. It's a good discussion. I think it's very possible. It's just the will of the people to make that kind of work. Doesn't change anything for the judge, just changes the focus, how much you're going to do in a job as opposed to what they currently do now. They're good at what they do now, no question. Okay, let's carry on. Group number 2. And we're going to, by the way, this may be our last broadcast.
Yeah, too right.
Okay,
well,
let's go.
Again, I can't believe that I'm saying it. It seems to be just such a constant and recurring theme for another skater in back-to-back events. Luka Imedashvili representing Lithuania. He was so exciting to watch last week. He explained he was inspired by Yuzuru Hanyu at 7.5, and now I think he'll be inspiring others.
such a wonderful young man. His skating is just brilliant. Big mistake here on this day. You can see, yeah, you can see on his face the expression of, oh, what a miss.
Yeah.
There was a problem on that spin, but you can see his jumping ability is incredible, and he just leaps so high in the air, so straight, so tidy. The triple lutz ended up to be with a double toe in the back, not the triple toe. That was unfortunate, and then the spin miss as well. So for him, this was, watch the takeoff here. Just climbs way up in the air, all the way around, easy landing, soft knees, right into a twizzle. He's got such control, but I think, you know, he just took it a little bit for granted. Here's the triple lutz. A little bit too far back in the heel, gets the free leg back, but get only enough to get the double toe loop. He couldn't do the reach far enough back to get the triple, and here's the miss. Right there. I don't think it goes in as a fall. It's not a fall, but it is a complete zero on that element. Double axel, great lift up in the air. But we're going to see this young man for many years to come, and he certainly has natural skills and ability. Look at that nice pointed toe there, Mark. Change of edge on the sit spin. Little jump over to the back sit. And variation as well. That is in at a level 3, change sit spin. So some work to do on a higher level. Plus the change combo spin at the end is also in a 3. Yeah.
And look at Imedashvili.
So good.
And he also skates with the joy. Like, as I said before he took to the ice, he told me that he was inspired by Yuzuru Hanyu. He said that he's learned all of Yuzuru Hanyu's programs, and his favorite is Hope and Legacy. And you can see that he's a skating fan. You get that in his movement. I love that.
He's a student. He's a student of the sport. He's watching it, and he's learning it. He's studying it, and then he's doing it. 56.19, even with that mistake on that spin, and that'll put Luka currently into 5th place. We'll see him many times over, as he is just 14 years of age, and with all that skill and ability and joy as he skates.
And now to another skater in their final Junior Grand Prix short program. Representing Ukraine, Vadym Novikov, making the transition from juniors to seniors as he skates to Metallica's Nothing Else Matters.
Well, for Vadym Novikov from Ukraine, this was not the way that he will want to leave the junior category. He still has a free program to go, of course, and very capable, but this was a very challenging skate.
And you can see him
And
considering it.
Yeah, it's a tough time in these juniors that are moving into senior to sort of put the same energy into what was the juniors of the past and what will be the seniors of the future. And, you know, it just is difficult for them. This was supposed to be a triple axel, or planned to be, but ended up, I think probably intentionally, he took that down to a double. And pretty nice, good flow in and out. Here's the triple Lutz. On a lean forward, gets the free leg back in time, but only can get around on the double toe loop. So that was under what he had planned for. Double flip as opposed to a triple flip, mispick, rushed that. So the program started to not unravel, but started to have these small errors that, you know, he did not want, and they just happened. And he just sort of, I don't want to say gave up, but got a little bit disappointed throughout the program, and not the same energy at the end that there was at the beginning,
Yeah,
which is natural. It's human.
And you sense that after the opening axel and the triple-double combination as opposed to triple-triple, that then there's the kind of rushing, frantic fight and the tension increases, and that's when the jumping passes are so much more challenging to do and so much more prone to what the skaters will refer to as a pop, where they open up.
And you get see good energy here, Mark, in the step sequence. Came in at only level 2, so missing 2 of the features, but he did keep the energy up all the way through that program to the end, so that's good, and changed his spin at the end with level 4. So, but his personal best is at 58.97. He's going to fall short of that with this program. Not a lot, though.
No.
The scores, please.
Program score for Vadym Novikov from Ukraine at 54.47. And that'll put Vadym Courtney into 6th place.
He has earned in the short program 54.47 points, and he's currently on the 6th place.
Well, this a huge moment for this next skater. He lives about an hour from here in Ljubljana, in Jesenice. His coach encourages him onto the ice, and Ziga Jevnik, the next competitor, hasn't competed at a junior event. He last competed at the Triglav Trophy at Advanced Novice in April. Now representing the home nation, skating to Heart Upon My Sleeve.
sheet for Ziga, which is not very full because it's his first time out of the Junior Grand Prix. He has one of his hobbies is drumming, and now you can understand the music pickings. You can hear that rhythm and that beat, and you saw that in the step sequence as well. He kept the choreography right to the beat, you know, really nicely. Unfortunately, yeah, he had that little fall on the triple flip, but squeaked out the triple sow double toe loop. And you consider he's at a certain stage of development. Here's the triple flip. Turns that upper body really early and is under rotated. Unfortunately, has to take the fall on that. The triple sow cow, let's see if this goes a little bit better. Gets around, it's cleaning the system at the moment. It's under review, under rotation, in fact, on the triple sow. Double axel makes that work.
And as we look at Ziga working through this change of the increase of speed here was cool.
Yeah, 2 feet.
I was just conscious that he hasn't done a short program before. The last time he competed at Triglav, middle of April of this year, he was advanced novice. So being in a Junior Grand Prix 1, being in a home Junior Grand Prix 2, moving up to Juniors 3, doing a short program, just the concept of that, so many new things, and yet you sense as he was leaving the ice that Ziga Jevnik was embracing the moment and happy to be there.
And we often talk about the skaters that are, you know, just in the early stages of development, coming up against, you know, top skaters from around the world and really enjoying the moment. Like, they've got things in perspective and they know what their focus, what their goal is. And even though it's far short of the top group, they're here.
And
he's
he's got more stuffies than anybody else. So
yeah. He doesn't have a personal best, first time out in the Junior Grand Prix. A short program for Ziggy. Ziga is at 34.23. That'll put Ziga currently in the 9th place.
For short skating, 34.23 points, and he's currently on the 9th place.
And now to the 17-year-old from Istanbul, Ege Alacan, representing Turkey. He feels that he has had more time to prepare and work for this Junior Grand Prix than last year when he competed at the Junior Grand Prix in Istanbul. Consequently, he's aiming for a better result. So he'll be hoping for more than 47.74, which is the PB that he had at the ISU last year.
Well, from Turkey, Ege Alacan, that was a surprise fall in that double axel. He was huge on the takeoff and looked like he had it, but he had so much speed on that landing. Just, you can see it put his hand to his face going, oh my gosh, what happened on that? And we were talking off air how many different skaters are coming now from Turkey and more skill every year. It's really interesting to see what's happening in that country with this sport.
And I was impressed that the comprehension and the commitment to the Spanish matador-esque type choreography throughout the beginning, as we see here, even the fingertips, that's so Paso Doble matador.
There's the triple flip, gets all the way around, so that's nice. With a plus GOE as well. There's the triple Lutz, gets the free leg back in time up into the double toe loop. Again, also with a positive GOE, so well done on that. Here's the double axel. Watch what happens at the end here. He's a little bit forward and just slips off that landing foot. Wow, that was just bizarre a little bit.
Hope his shoulders
takes a hard fall. Yeah.
And I actually admire Ege's effort on that double axel, because at the end of the program, having skated okay at that point, you would have thought he could have been conservative, held back and done a safe double axel, but he was committed to a big double axel.
Yeah, he totally was. Yeah, you love that.
But the great news here is that it looks like he's going to achieve his goal of beating last year's score.
Yeah. Well, 47.74 is his personal best from last season. This is his first competition on the Junior Grand Prix this year, so we'll check out his short program score. And there it is, 51.59. And that'll put him currently into 7th place. Yes, please be pleased with that score.
Oh, he's back on. You're back on.
He's back on, yeah.
Oh, yay, take your moment.
The coach jumps back in the kiss and cry. They cut the cameras a little bit too soon.
And now we head to the Romanian skater in the men's event here in Ljubljana, Razvan Cionac. He competed in Ostrava. He was 27th there. And his coach, Simona, hopes that he understands that he needs more confidence and training to deliver what he can in isolation as he skates to way down we go by Kaleo.
Mark, you know, we often, you know, talk about a mistake on a jumping element. It's relatively easy to see, obviously, and you can see the problems. But in a spin, they take it for granted. We all take it for granted, the entrance. But that entrance edge just slipped, and you can see him shaking his head coming off the ice. And then what do? Once you slip and break out of that spin, it's zero, no matter what you do. Now you have to fill the time, which becomes more complicated. You restart the spin, which you're not going to get any points for, and then sometimes you get a little bit later in the music. And so it just was problematic. And it's not something that happens in practice very often at all. So it's not something you sort of expect like you would on a jump. Here's a look at the first element, the triple Salchow. Nice, good flow through that, right up into the double toe loop. He was pretty quick on that toe pick and needed to be to pull that off. Good job. Here's the triple flip, back inside edge takeoff. This is under rotated and takes the fall as well. And the double axel on the tight takeoff edge, but nicely done.
And it's interesting because it's these experiences, it just screams out, you know, junior learning, still, you know, 15 years of age. There's a big old learning. He's going to remember competing in a short program at Ljubljana in the Junior Grand Prix, and that time when he fell off his camel edge and had the whole spin knocked out. It's just another one to notch up to the education of the skater. Yeah,
and you're going to remember that you might have taken to that for granted, so next time he steps onto that spin edge in competition, he's going to make sure that, exactly. Those are the things, those are the negative experiences that become positive for the future. Never nice at the moment, but the jumps are a little bit different because that varies so much from competition to competition, but things like spins and step sequences and unusual trips that you might do, when you do it in competition, you generally don't, it doesn't happen again as you move forward.
And I think Razvan, I said it before when he's competed, I think that he is a potentially really good skater. I think that he's got a flexibility and range of movement in his body that not all the boys have. I think he's got supple joints, knees and ankles, and I think he could really do well. And this triple flip was better, so the technical score is definitely under construction.
Yeah, 40.55, his personal best. See what he takes out of this short program in Ljubljana. Just shy of that, 40.14, and that'll put Razvan currently into 9th place.
40.14 points for short program.
And one more skater to come in group number 2.
Well, and I have a soft spot for this next skater, 15-year-old Lloyd Thomson, because he's a Scottish boy representing Great Britain. And Lloyd, he explained when I said if there's anything that I was to mention, he simply said, I love the sport, I love working hard, and I always want to get better in different aspects of the sport. And he seems so educated on the past great skaters wanting to be one himself.
Let's go for my mother.
Well, that was nice to see this young man, Lloyd Thomson from Great Britain, Scottish,
Yes.
of course, but
One of the Scots.
refreshing because I haven't seen this young man in all the years I've covered the Junior Grand Prix. Obviously, this is his first time, a big spot coming off the ice. You can see that he absolutely loves to perform. It's sincere choreography. He hears and feels the music really naturally, which is really lovely. And so there'll be refinement in the choreography, refinement in his posture and things like that, but it's real. And that is the best type to have.
Yeah, genuine.
Lots of work still yet to do, but great work. There's the double axel, good speed in and out of, but great work on that triple left, triple toe right near the end of the program. Watch here to slow down here, Mark. Oh, push that button. There you go. And there's the triple toe loop. And he had to really fight in between the two jumps, gets it done beautifully. And he doesn't have a personal best score. This is going to be it, and it's going to be a high first score on the Junior Grand Prix.
And as much, Ted, as I'd love to try and get some intel on all the skaters, and I wish I had more, like I know Natalie Dallas, his coach, she had the same coach as I did, Diane Dewar, and that lineage of skating, and it's always so good to be able to shout out about the coaches and the skaters, and skating in a small rink, in a small skating nation, and now here at the Junior Grand Prix. Indeed, Natalie was explaining that during COVID, Lloyd landed his first triple on a pond. When the rinks froze over during COVID,
really?
he first did
gosh.
that, and so now from that to this, and all the effort of the coach and the family to get to this point, what a celebration. And I think, well, I hope that they're going to be a little bit surprised because his components here are significantly more favorable than they are domestically when he competes at home. So,
and when those young skaters listening to this, when we talked about the sincere movement from his heart, from his soul, and even though there needs to be refinement there, it means so much. And you'll see the score, his very first score in the Junior Grand Prix. And I think even
I'm excited to see the reaction. I hope they're really giddy.
66 points. You can see his hands cover his face like, oh my God, are you sure those are my scores?
yeah,
Wow.
well
And that puts
done.
him in third place. He cannot believe this. It's not what he expected because he skated for himself.
Oh, that's so,
And he's
so
still
cool.
completely in shock. That's cool.
Yeah, he doesn't get those components at home. That's exciting.
No, that's very exciting. Okay, that's a break here. The final ice resurfacing here on day one on week number 6. So we take a look at the scores so far after 2 groups, and we have our video playback ISU movie list. Skate flicks. What's up, Mark?
Well, I really don't want to miss this because we'll have, first of all, the interview with Lukasz Paklavic, which was something that you conducted last week, Ted, in Gdansk. And that's an interesting one because of what was said, but also a chance to listen to the world champion in another interview that Lord Ted Barton conducted as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, try to enjoy. We'll be back right after this. Here in Gdansk with the men's champion, Lukasz Paklavic from Slovakia. Absolutely outstanding. It was so exciting. I got so much to ask you, so let's get to this. I did say off camera to you, did you have expectations coming into the pre-program? What were your thoughts?
Well, for me, the expectations were not high. I just tried to come and skate my best or what I've practiced for. And if there was like a goal to do here, it was maybe to stay on the podium, which would be 3rd place. But yeah, this is a nice surprise.
And as the event began to unfold and strange things started to happen, you were backstage speaking to your brother, but you didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, correct. I got a text message from my brother, and then he called me, and after a while he just started to tell me like I was first, so I rushed out here quickly to my coach. So yeah.
Now, what is happening in skating in Slovakia? Because we've seen some strong pair skating, ice dancing women and men coming along, and you just told me about a possible dream, and good things happen. They start with a dream, and what is that?
So we have a lot of young skaters in Slovakia, like really good people, talents, and they're all working hard. All of them also competing here this season in the Junior Grand Prix Series. And I mean, it's a dream, but there is a dream for the team event on the Olympics, which would be probably really, really cool.
Well, good things happen. They start from a dream, and you've got that going, and so does Slovakia. Congratulations to the Slovakian Skating Federation for all the work that they're doing. The men's champion here in Gdansk. I'm Ted Barton here covering the Junior Grand Prix, but it's such an honor, such a pleasure to bring to you an interview with the current world champion, Ilya Malinin. He's just finished his morning training and he's taking a bit of a break now, so we have him for just a couple of minutes. Ilya, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Your world changed. You changed the world, really, in Montreal. I remember being there, and I know you had a bit of a challenging time that year to get up to that point, and I'll never forget the performance was unbelievable, but the moment that you sort of collapsed to the ice, either through exhaustion or pure joy, how has your life changed since that moment?
I mean, even to this day, I'm still trying to take that in, process what happened on those 4 minutes of my whole career. There were so many thoughts and emotions just running through my head after that. I could just not contain it all, and I just, collapsed, and I just felt relieved. I felt proud of myself. I felt so much confidence and joy, and it just really helped me, I guess, solidify a part in my career as one of the greatest moments of my career.
Yeah, certainly at this point of your career for sure, so maybe there's more to come. Now, I had a really fun interview with your mom and dad, and of course, both skaters, both very accomplished skaters. And I asked them about your start in skating. They said, we really never planned for this to happen. Yeah, we planned for them to learn to skate, obviously, because it was a big part of their life. And so with that in mind, do you remember when you became fully engaged and in love with the sport of figure skating and you wanted to do something special with it? Was there a particular age or a particular event that sort of took you over to the top and said, no, I want to do this?
I mean, it was hard to just find that time, because at first I was really just, I'm just doing this for fun. I was just like, let's see where this takes me, let's just see how far. And I didn't know my full potential until maybe I was competing around novice junior area as well. So I would say it's pretty recent. It was I was just kind of for fun trying out, see how it'd take me. And then all of a sudden, I was I think I have a lot more potential, and I feel that there's many things that I have not, I guess, learned or discovered in myself. And after that, ever since, I've always been trying to find these things or pick them out and kind of build me as a skater. And I mean, I'm definitely loving it right now because of how successful it's been for me, and it always gives me the confidence to keep pushing and to be better.
Well, no question. Let's go back a couple years. I think it was 2021, 22 that you finished your junior Grand Prix career. And of course, I had the pleasure to cover you through a number of those competitions. How important was the Junior Grand Prix experience for building the type of skater you are now?
I think that the junior level really starts to show who you can be as a skater. When I was in juniors, I was kind of worried that, maybe I'm not as good as the other skaters, or, that there might be a time where, I'd be I won't get there, I won't be there. But I think junior for me was just a time to really just find your base and find who you want to be as a skater. And then from there, just add on different things. For some people, it may be if they want to be a really good jumper. From there, if they find out their jumps are really good and they feel it in their self, then they can just start working on that and then building other things as it goes on. But mainly, the main thing I noticed from that was try not to overthink everything at that moment, because everything is a process and it all takes time. So you really just have to kind of go with the flow and let things happen.
Oh, that's a very good point. You were a natural jumper right off the bat. I mean, seeing you in junior, that was never an issue. You had really good short programs, and you sometimes had challenges in the free program. Maybe, I don't know exactly why, you could explain that, but the juniors probably gave you some experience and, okay, I can do this. Why am I making mistakes in the free program? Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I remember that my long program was always the harder program for me. I think maybe just how long it was in a way. It was just kind of all the elements back to back to back. I kind of remember I'd always get ahead of myself and always, kind of think of the element after and not really focus on each element individually. That's kind of one of the tips my parents always give me, is just focus on each element one after the other and try not to get over and overthink it. Just try not to get ahead of yourself and let things happen. You know, if it's bad, then whatever, you have to move on at that moment and keep going with the program. And I think I've started to master that already, to just, you know, take everything nice and slow, one step at a time.
Yeah, what a good message. And you did not have many challenging free programs in your junior, so I don't want anybody to think you did. You had a couple, but you solved that issue quite quickly. Big question here, I'm sure that a lot of folks out there listening to this interview and have wondered around, is that, do you believe that 5 revolutions is possible? And if you do, who do you think will be the first person to do it?
I definitely think it's very possible. I know that with enough training and kind of preparing for it, then I think many skaters could achieve it. You have to really take this a different way. Like, similar to kind of the quad axel, it was, you know, not a lot of people have, you know, attempted it or managed to have successful attempts. So from there, it was kind of like a new thing. And I had to really kind of just think of, how do I manage this, and how do I figure out what will be the best way to either overcome it or, you know, fully rotate it or have a good technique for it. So it really took a lot more mental planning before, you know, I was like, okay, I'm physically ready for this now. I just need to try to go for it.
Well, it's such a good mental or psychological approach to it. That's for sure, sort of one thing at a time. You know, there are a lot of juniors who will watch this interview, watch you skate, you know, look up at you as the quad god and all of that. But what kind of suggestions would you give, or advice you would give to young juniors watching this, as to what are the priorities in the juniors or in the Junior Grand Prix? What are the types of skills? I don't mean necessarily jumping skills, skating skills, artistic skills, those types of things. Where do you think a lot of their time should be spent in these years in the junior category?
I think I've noticed that a lot of people kind of struggle with the confidence or kind of that mentality when going on the ice. Is sometimes that, you know, of course, when you're nervous, different people, they'll get tight, you know, they'll feel either loose, you know, they won't feel under their feet in a way. So I think the best thing for them to focus on is kind of that confidence and that really mentality. When you step on the ice, you just have to trust all the training that you've been doing and trust your team to really help you with whatever it may be, and to just try to attack everything 100%. And I think that's the main thing, is just once you learn that, then everything else will be so much easier for you to accomplish at competitions.
Final point or question I want to get your feedback on. You were primarily a technician to begin with, but you have created and woven into that technical prowess a beautiful performance level. When did that sort of, you know, create interest for you to get involved in that and try to figure out the more artistic side of skating?
Moreover, I was really so caught up in, you know, trying to make sure my jumps were really clean, consistent, and that, you know, there be minor mistakes on them, that at some point it was just kind of, I didn't see any progress. So I started to think, you know, maybe I should try to, you know, work on this a little more. And of course, that might be a struggle for some people. You know, they don't want to work on something more because it's not their strong spot. So of course, sometimes, you know, I think that even now, just like, oh, I don't want to do the spin, I can't do it. But you really just have to overcome that. And, you know, the more practice you do, the more it becomes easier and it becomes muscle memory. And then in the long run, it will become so easy that you don't even have to think about it. It was just, you know, I need to start trying to find my own style of skating and really just dig out there to that creativity, that artistry, and that uniqueness.
So great that you've been so honest with yourself and honest to tell the story that, you know, there's a lot of things you have to learn, and the things that you learn the first are the things that you enjoy the most. But you have to spend the time on the things you don't enjoy, and it's a great message for the young skaters out there. And, you know, Ilya, thank you so much for taking this time. I know you have such busy schedule to give something back to the juniors and to the Junior Grand Prix. It's been an honor.
Yeah, no, thank you. This was a lot of fun. You know, again, I used to be a junior skater, so this is a very familiar path for everyone to take, and I think that this will help them, you know, kind of find their self and see how they can take their skating to a next level.
Thank you so much, Ilya. Men's world champion Ilya Melinin here on the Junior Grand Prix.
Tekmovalce na
Welcome back, everyone, to Ljubljana, day 1 of the Junior Grand Prix, week number 6. Mark Conradi is there at the rink, side by the boards, and I'm thousands of miles away in a little place called Chilliwack, British Columbia, just about an hour and a half east of Vancouver.
Well,
Mark.
I have experienced, Ted, what you have in the last 3 weeks by rushing out to record some little pieces, and I felt a tremendous amount of pressure to rush the speech that I had to do whilst the next group of skaters were hurriedly and anxiously waiting to get through to the ice. So I hereby send my apologies if I increased the anxiety of any of the men that were taking to the ice.
No, I don't think you did that. Yeah, it's a little, I mean, you're good at it, but it's a little nerve-wracking. Or if you haven't got your thought process or your words picked out and you've got to do that stand-up and you're going to cram it in, like just a couple of minutes before something else, it's like, oh, man, I don't think I can think that fast anymore.
It's funny that I used to pre-prep everything and I'd maybe even write things out. Now it's just on a hope, a wing and a prayer that I don't sound like there's too much gobbledygook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might, look, oh, that must be easy to talk like that. It's like, that's really hard, especially if you question yourself. Your lips are saying one thing, your brain's going, what are you saying? It's the wrong order. So that you have to start again, or, the crew's got a lot of outtakes if they want to make a pretty damaging or damning
blooper reel.
Blooper reel. We're really in trouble. Me more than you, I can tell you that for sure.
I just now shout out again and thanks and gratitude to those that have sent in the questions to the ISU. We have had a wonderful question through that I'm so keen to shout out the answer to. The question comes from @Mona Chibas. How tiring is it for the body to do a run through? Now,
wow. Go ahead. That's a good question.
I think I would love to ask maybe that's a social media post for the team to do. Ask every skater on the Junior and Senior Grand Prix their reaction to the word run through, as we see an amazing change of edge by Arlet Levandi. If I was to describe a run through, and this is not what it should be. This is my disclaimer that Mark Henretti is not the person to speak to about a run through. It strikes fear in me. I actually have sweaty palms just thinking about it. Even though I was a studious good boy and did them every day, they still, I need to have some sports psychology in my thought process regarding a run through. But they are exhausting.
Even if you're in the best of shape, you know that you're going to hit a pain threshold somewhere in that program. The better shape you are, the less that you're going to worry about it, the more you're going to focus on what to do, not the fatigue or the pain that you're going to get. So that's why conditioning is so important. And some skaters, they sort of they stall. They say, no, yeah, I'll be fine. And come not wanting to do the run through because they know they're going to get pain. They'd rather only have the pain in the competition as opposed to the training days. But if you want to have a good competition, you need to do the run throughs well in advance. And I remember, we used to have 5-minute programs, so that's really long. Plus, you'd have to do a back-to-back run through. Okay, you're not doing 14 triples and 3 quads, but that was pretty painful. And so it is for those people that are not 100% in shape. It puts fear in you.
Yeah, and I think the skaters will probably all agree with me that to some extent a run through in competition is easier insofar as you're fueled with more adrenaline than you would be in practice. And also the run through in a competition, you can't stop. And so that's in practice, sometimes you'll see a skater who will bail partway through a run through, they'll miss an element as a recovery, whereas in a competition you just simply can't do that. So competition run throughs are to some extent easier than a training run through. But training run throughs have to be done. And it was interesting, actually, Ted, I was chatting to one of the coaches who'd acknowledged that their athlete had some blood tests done by sports scientist, yes, thank you. And the markers were just showing low iron and various different deficiencies. And when that was rectified, they actually found that their fitness levels upped immensely. And that's where you can really benefit from all the supplementary off-ice aids. I didn't have the support network from the federation or the finances to be able to do that. So maybe that's the reason. Maybe my iron levels were just incredibly low.
But you know, you say it's easier in competition to do the run through than it is in practice. But it's physically, perhaps, but not psychologically. It's harder psychologically when you go into a competition and you're not prepared. You know you're going to get that pain, and so ultimately, as your body slows down because you don't have the oxygen, the jumps start to fall apart, and the program starts to fall apart. The whole thing's kind of a negative experience. So physically, maybe. Okay, I'll get the adrenaline in the program or in the competition, I'll be fine. But psychologically, generally, you don't skate as well. So, it's a tough one. Anyways, good question.
I actually, that's definitely the question I want to pose to the skating, the current competitive skating community.
Yeah, totally. Ask them, not us.
Yes, exactly. Much better reflection of the feelings.
And I'm sure a shorter answer.
Quick one from @Quaxel. Favorite loose jumper. Who's your favorite loose jumper?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that because I'm seeing a lot of them. Let's go into this group first.
Okay,
me time.
We'll come back.
Here we go. Group number 4.
Actually,
group number 3. Pardon me.
Actually, on that note, favorite loose jumper. This skater has a pretty impressive quadruple lutz, and we saw that in Latvia in Riga when Genrikh Gartung showcased that brilliant quadruple lutz, which helped him to place 4th in the free skate there, but he struggled with the short program, missing the jump combo. Genrikh Gartung will be hoping for a clean skate to keep him in contention for his highly difficult planned program content in the free skate.
In the sand to pick 'em up again. I know she begs and nauseous and sorry to handle it with care, to lose it or upstay. My heart's the thing you come with hold on.
good performance by Genrikh Gartung from Germany. And what was really impressive, particularly the triple left, triple toe combination in the second half of the program out of Anina Bauer. He made that look so simple and so easy. He was right on top of his game. There wasn't any waiver at all. 3 out of the 7 elements under review, but 2 of them are spins. So that was a solid performance. He has a 54.56 personal best. I think he's going to destroy that number with this program. This is probably the best program he's skated, short program he's skated in the international field, maybe in his life. We'll see what the score is going to be. Let's take a look at this first element, the triple axel. Here it comes. Here, slow it down right on that takeoff there, Mark. Good, nice. Follows through with the free leg, great lift, arms in tight, and nice, tidy, clean landing. Wants to cover that across the ice a bit more, but still well done. There's a triple flip. Great flow across the ice, extension with the free leg into a little leap. Another quality element in the positive GOE, so he's adding points to the difficult elements with a quality of execution. There's a triple S, triple toe loop, beautiful done. Second half of the program, earning 11.11 points on that one element. Wow.
And Genrikh can land, we've seen the quad loops, he can land quad flip, he's working on quad sal and quad toe. And it was interesting to hear Coach Nico Lenovsky just acknowledging that they knew that others in this event had better program component scores, but they were endeavoring to do the clean shot to keep him in contention because they know that it has a greater technical difficulty with the quad loops that he includes. And I just thought it was such an open, honest acknowledgement of what we are weak in and what we're strong in and how to make sure we're in contention for medal.
Yeah. Terrific, absolutely. Season best, 68.91, and he's still looking at that. Is that right? 60? Wow, that's good. That is a huge improvement over his season best, and he will take second place at this moment in the competition. And I think he maybe thought he wouldn't be that high, but he's there.
And now we move to the 15-year-old born in Vienna, Daniel Ruis, who has largely self-choreographed his own programs with his coach Neil Chesterton overseeing that. He has even played parts of the music on the piano to get a better understanding of the music. So hopefully we'll be able to see some great example of composition and presentation from the 15-year-old from Vienna.
15-year-old Daniel Ruis from Austria takes two really difficult falls, sort of unexpected to some degree, Mark. He looked great on the takeoff, flew through the air, pretty tight rotation position, but then just slid across the ice. Picks just didn't grab it. We'll take a look at that on the replays, but those are really unfortunate mistakes. Unexpected, really.
Yeah, tough skate, tough falls. And this, you know, his debut on the Junior Grand Prix this year, did 2 events last year. And good to see Neil comforting him as he leaves the ice.
And kind of a neat program, good music, and you can see he identifies with this song and sort of the freedom of it, not the casualness, but kind of cool. There's the triple flip right on top of his foot on that one. That was a good start to the program. And let's take a look at it, see what happens here in this loop. The loop takes off. Remember that only 1 foot takeoff. The free leg comes in. Oh yeah, the free leg got stuck in front, back on the heel, couldn't get it free leg out quick enough and has to take the fall. But this next element in the double axel, too far forward on the landing, and the pick just did not grab the ice and takes a hard fall again. Nice turnover on the camel spin, change combo spin, level 3 right at the end of the program.
I love the positions within that final combo spin and aspects like the transitional content with the double knee slide and the finish position, showcasing. If we didn't know that, you know, Neil had explained that he was invested in the choreography, you could sense that from his movement, but obviously it's so much harder to commit emotionally when you know you've made mistakes which will impact the score. But it was wonderful to hear from Coach Neil, who said that he's got 3 other siblings, Anna, Leo and Natalie, and Daniel helps them on the ice, and what a good example that is.
Wow, that's cool. Family affair. 47.97 for Daniel Ruis from Austria. That'll put him currently into 10th place. A little fist bump there and the kiss and cry. Trying to keep his spirits up. Good work by the coach, and got the free program to look forward to.
And now to 17-year-old Ean Weiler, representing Switzerland, and he was so impressive in Ankara, just off the podium at that event, and he said that he's made the most of the time between that and this event, managing to refine many parts of what we already knew was a beautiful program.
Something's got a hold of me lately, though I don't know myself. Feels like the water all closing in, and the devil's knocking at my door. Oh, out of my mind, how many times did I tell you I'm no good at thinking? No, it's taking a toll on me.
from Switzerland, and such a quality skater. And how to tell that? You can, he has two elements that are in the minus GOE, so there were some small quality issues on that. But overall, the quality of each one of his elements are in the positive GOEs, depth of edge, how secure he is. And it's just amazing. And he's 17 years old. And so highly skilled, as Stéphane Lambiel was talking about. There's that double axel, beautiful off the end of the edge, wonderful running edge on the landing. There's the Lutz. And how special was that? Up into the triple toe loop, just perfect. Positive GOE of 1.18, so he grabs 11.28 out of that one element. Beautiful camel spin, change of edge feature, jump over to the back sit spin, which he loses his balance on. And this is one of the elements that he has a minus GOE on that particular thing, but nothing to do with bad technique or anything. Had to fight for that takeoff on the flip. That was the other element that had a minus GOE, but everything else in the positive grade.
Yeah, and I think for Ean Weiler, I think stylistically, he's possibly the most refined, and already it's a strong event in regards to that. We've got the likes of Nikita Sheiko and Arlet Levandi as he's joined by Stéphane Lambiel, his new coach this season. And I think Ian has one of the most refined stylistically shaped skating skills already, and I'm excited about his future.
Yeah, I mentioned in the step sequence he had some moves that reminded me of Stéphane Lambiel, but he's only been with Stéphane for a while. And you asked the question to me, is do you think he's done a lot of studying online and watching? I think he has. I think he's learned, and we talk about those students or those athletes that are students of the sport. They do homework, they do research, they watch a lot, and they learn a lot on their own as well, in addition to the coaching work. So I get the feel very much that he loves the sport so much he's watching it on a daily basis.
And that's what Stéphane explained, that he was delighted to see in regards to their first event. They first went as coach and student to Ankara, and Stéphane was just surprised at the maturity of the way in which Ian conducted himself as they eagerly anticipate the scores.
Well, 67.93 is his personal best, but it's a 66.04. He's just shy of his personal best, and that'll put him currently into 4th place. But positioned well to fight for the podium. Still some skaters to come, but looking good so far.
He has earned 66.04 points. He's currently on the 4th place.
And here is special competitor, the winner in Ankara, Turkey, just 2 weeks back. Mark.
And how will Jacob Sanchez react to that? He struggled a little bit in the pre-skate in Ankara, having been so successful in this short program, but he's had time now to process what it may be like to come in as a front runner. Just see him simulating some jump takeoffs. He's looked good in practice this morning, looked comfortable in warm-up as he goes through the axle technique that he'll hope will deliver for him a clean skate and another score over the 80-point marker.
From the United States, Jacob Sanchez once again delivers a perfect short program, as he did in Ankara, Turkey just 2 weeks ago on the way to his first Junior Grand Prix title. And he's looking for that again here. First or second will guarantee him a trip to Grenoble on the Junior Grand Prix final. Full speed, not holding back at all. That was brilliant.
It was brilliant. And you know what impresses me more, not just the brilliance of that performance, but also the fact that this morning in practice, Jacob Sanchez was applauding the other skaters when they delivered goods in the practice. So a great human as well as a great skater.
Here's the triple axel. Great lift off that takeoff edge, quickly off the edge. And look at the speed. Look at how fast the board signs are going past him. There's the triple flip. Hands above the head, straight, strong, soft knees on the landing. GOEs, all the GOEs are above 1. Triple Lutz, triple toe loop. And that brings in 12.63 points to that one element, because the quality of the score is added to the view. And you can see the smile on his face. Another short program in the books. Beautiful. Willie beat his personal best of 81.14. And Yan Hao Lee has an 83.25. Well, from New Zealand, that was in Bangkok. He took that score. And will this one be the top score in the Junior Grand Prix short program this year, at least?
Jacob Sanchez, Združenih država Amerike.
And there it is, season's best. Great reaction, 85.09. That's a top score. That's a senior men's score as well. That would do well in a lot of competitions this year.
That's the 5th highest ever junior men's short program score.
5th highest junior men's short program score. Awesome.
Which is his new season's best and brings him currently to the 1st place.
Well, the first of 2 sons whose mothers are doubling up as their coaches. We've seen already his brother Kirill, and we've seen already brilliance from Nikita Sheiko when he performed in Riga in Ljubljana. A must-watch short program. He thought it was, Ted, and hopefully even more beautiful now as he skates to I Won't Light a Candle from the Schindler's List soundtrack.
Sometimes when I close my eyes, I hear you call my name. Even though I watched you go,
Nikita Sheiko from Israel, such a beautiful short program to Schindler's List. What a wonderful rendition of that as well, and so heartfelt in the choreography and the delivery of that in a sport in which you have to think technically with your brain, but artistically with your heart. I just love that program. Of course, he unfortunately took the fall on the triple axel. He starts lying down on the ice, and that's such a different starting position to have to get up. But as part of your choreography, in the moment you're making that impression at the beginning, it was meaningful to the program itself. Here's the triple axel. Slow that down a little bit. And, he looked like he had it. And just a little bit too far back on the heel. Couldn't get the free leg back. Has to take the fall, but comes right back with a beautiful triple flip here. And then the triple Lutz, triple loop. Watch this. It's not a great takeoff on the Lutz, but goes right up into the triple loop all the way around on the quarter, actually, on the Lutz and the system. And here's the step sequence. This is where he really excels and connects with the music even more so.
That was wonderful. And obviously he works with his parents. His dad competed at the 1994 Olympics. His mom, a wonderful skater as well. And they acknowledge the work of Igor Cherneyev, the choreographer, who they're delighted to continue this collaboration with. And you can see the effect of the continued collaboration with the same choreographer, able to extract more and more, both emotionally and physically in the movement for Nikita.
Well, his personal best and season best, 75.61, earning that in Riga. And there's his mom in the kiss and cry. A memory more for mom than it will be for him at the moment, but later in life, this will be special.
Well, it was interesting also to hear Nikita acknowledge how grateful he is, not just to have his parents, but have his younger brother pushing him. And I thought that was a wonderful thing for his mom to hear, that his one son is grateful for the other son.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the short program score. Remember, 75.61 is season's best. Is going to fall a little bit short of that with a 69.55, but he goes, that's okay. I took the fall on the axle, and that's not a bad score. And that's going to put him currently into third place, so he's certainly among the mix.
And what brings him currently in the third place?
So one mother and son to another, and indeed Arlet Levandi and Nikita Sheiko are friends. They share so much. It's ironic that they are drawn to skate back to back to one another as mother Anna Levandi encourages Arlet to take to the ice. He was a bronze medalist in Ankara and another skater's skater.
Which is so
Mark, you've talked about both Nikita Sheiko and Arlet Levandi's moms, who are also their coaches. How lucky are we as fans to be able to watch the careers of these two young skaters, because they're not just great athletes, but they are absolute innovators and creators of something special with their music. And this is early on in their career. We're going to get to watch them for many years to come as they graduate into the senior category as well. They're different.
And as we see this,
excellent.
Yeah, this unique position, I was just thinking it reminded me of the World Championships when Jason Brown and Kevin Amos were in the final group. The two, not as technically proficient as some, but so creative. Just a double.
And there's a double axel. Like, intended the triple, makes it the double. There's the flip, no problem there.
Oh.
And that awkward fall just goes off the back of the heel. That was unfortunate. Here's the triple Lutz. Little bit on a lean, doesn't touch down with a free foot or the hands. Gets up in the triple toe loop. Don't know how he did that. That's under rotated. And here's some of the step sequence in the movement. And a special skater, no question.
Yeah, I mean, just such a unique movement. And again, another collaboration. Obviously, his mother, former world medalist herself, but also the collaboration with Benoit Richaud, who explained, as is the case with Nikita Sheiko, the collaboration with the choreographer, which you sense extracts more and more and allows both choreographer and skater to be able to play with more unique movement choices. And the sum of Arlet Levandi's movement in that I remember from the last event, that still makes my brain have to rethink what was done, because it's non-conventional, it's unique, it's innovative.
Well, the choreographers must love working with people such as Nikita and Arlet. So innovative and creative themselves. They have a lot to work with, of course. Let's take a look at the short program scores for Arlet Levandi from Estonia. 63.60 is his personal best this season, 75.43 overall in his career. And on this day, it is a 69.11 season's best. That'll put him currently into 4th place. But he will also be in the mix, the battle for the podium.
Interesting that these two skaters are so close, so many similarities.
Like just 4/10 separating them.
Really interesting that those two skaters that are both fairly unique, and the mothers both coach them, and they're separated by that tiny margin. Very intriguing.
And there is a look at the final group taking to the ice for the 6-minute warm-up. We can see Adam Hagara, who last year won in Linz. I think he was 4th in Budapest, but made the Junior Grand Prix final. Medaled there in the World Championships as well, World Junior Championships.
Well, we have had other questions coming in, Ted, to the International Skating Union's Instagram. We look forward to hopefully receiving many more as the event progresses over the next 2 days. And a really interesting one, which we have touched on a little bit, from @Salutasia. Having a theme for women's short program or free skate would be fun to see. For example, only musical theatre songs. And this is something that I think I'd actually touched on when I referenced the ice dance event. I'm not sure who gave me the muse for it. It may have been Stefan Lombiel's attendance at the Ice Dance Technical Committee's meeting at World Championships. But when for the ice dancers are very aware that at the World Championships, the Ice Dance Technical Committee reveal what they believe what will be the theme for the rhythm dance. And for the ice dancers, they obviously, or maybe not obviously to those that aren't aware, have to choose music and choose a theme that all the competitors have to follow. And so the notion of the singles or the pair skaters having the same concept, for the single skaters at present, their short program, the remits are much, much wider and broader. Be interesting to see how they would cope with a more narrow music choice.
Well, taking that a little bit further, in view of the fact where you have to do a click and clear, where the music rights become a major issue. We've talked about this on a number of occasions on the Junior Grand Prix. We don't know exactly where it's all going, but that concept of taking a theme, if you will, that the music in that era might have been cleared or can be cleared, might be forced in a way. It might have to go that direction. Less variety, perhaps, but yeah, we're going to see what happens. Interesting concept, good idea, and thanks to the fans for sending that idea in. We've asked them, the fans out there, for their input. You know, what are your thoughts? How can we, or the ISU, make this sport more entertaining for you, but also more understandable as well? So interested in all those ideas, and that one is a good one.
Yeah, and we were posed the question today earlier in the previous warm-up, are there any rule changes that you would like to see implemented? I went down a garden path putting my neck on the chopping block regarding that. I wonder if we regurgitate the question back out to the viewers, what rules would you like to see implemented? It would be an interesting concept to discuss. As I head to how much...
We might get a lot of comments on that. That would be interesting for sure.
As we head to, I think, a much easier question to ask. Is it advantageous to skate first when the ice is fresh after resurface, or last when the ice has been skated on?
Depends on how many knee slides you've got. So, I always think that when the ice is really rough and you've got knee slides, particularly in ice dance, and you have to slide together, that can be challenging. I think fresh ice gives you a little bit more flow and freedom on the ice, and I don't mean in the slides, but just across. But it also feels, this is going to sound really funny, but a little bit slipperier. You don't, it doesn't bite quite as much. And the rougher ice gives you a little bit more stability sometimes, but I don't know. It depends on the person, I suppose. It's a good question, though. Yeah,
and actually, the ice surface and the ice quality is something that is not equal for all in regards to their training environments. And some of the skaters who come from less established training environments with maybe not the full-size pad, they might not get the opportunity to train on a specially cut ice, because the ISU events such as this, the caliber required for the ice surface is high, and that there's a certain expectation and standard of the quality of ice. And some of the skaters just might not be used to it, which will be a blessing because they've suddenly got faster ice and smoother ice, but then it's harder to deal with the unknown that you're not used to.
Yeah, at an ISU championship, there is a certain temperature and thickness in which the ice has to be made. So that is sort of your championship quality of ice. If you train at home, and they don't really care because it's hockey ice, it's thin. Hockey ice is thinner, and it's colder, so it's more brittle. So if that's what you train in, then you go to a championship, and the ice is softer and thicker. It does have a different feel to it, totally. So a lot of it depends on where you train and what your conditions are as to the type of ice that you like, that you prefer under competition.
And there are different ways in which the ice is created. You probably, I imagine, Ted, you're better educated than me upon that. I remember hearing about ice that was on sand, and that was the foundation for it. And then there's obviously pipe ice now.
That's mostly that's true. That's mostly the older rinks, so that had a sand base with brine pipes that were embedded in that sand, and then, but now they have basically concrete. Oh, there's a whole mess of different things that I don't actually know myself, but they have a concrete slab in which everything's on to sort of even it out. And in our rink, actually, in Burnaby, they had, I think it was 60 pilings driven into the sand, into the earth. And then laid the concrete on top to make sure it was level, because it had sort of moisture underneath, so it sort of was a little bit warped. So really it depends on where you're building the rink, and it depends on budget. That too, right?
I hear about tank ice when they do the show skaters, and they have the tank ice.
Yeah.
Although I
skated on.
Oh, go for it.
I skated on tennis courts in Brazil on the ice show. So as we went into the building, we saw all these tennis courts. And then when through the couple of days that they set it up, it all of a sudden became a rink. No nets.
That's cool. Jump. Well, 5 men clear the rink to pave the way for the first skater in this warm-up group, 16-year-old from Oakville, Grayson Long, and his coach, or one of his coaches here, Karen Preston, who's a 1992 Olympian, had explained that on Monday morning on the 8:30 session, Grayson Long did a clean long program run-through, suggesting that he's coming into form better than that of the 7th place finish that he achieved a few weeks ago in Thailand, Bangkok.
But we're alone now, and I'm singing the song to you. I love you in a place where there's no space and time. I love you for my life. You're a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember when we were together. We were alone, and I was singing the song to you.
Year-old Grayson Long from Canada. He's coached by Brian Orser, Karen Preston here, and this young man has grown up so much in the past year, matured as a skater, and his expression in his program as well. And there, he slammed down that triple axel. You could hear the landing. It was pretty hard, but he got it done. Triple left, triple toe loop. That was nicely done. And then he pops the flip a little bit later as he comes off the ice and sort of chuckling a little bit.
And
but every time out, he grows. He gets better every time out in competition, and that's so good to see.
And interesting, it's a flip of what happened for him in Bangkok, insofar as he had more of a problem with the triple axel on the loose there. This time it was the flip. So still, I suppose, early season with the presumption that Grayson's vying to be a Canadian representative at Junior Worlds.
Here's the triple axel, tight edge, nice and straight in the air. You can see that is under-rotated in the system, but still pretty well done.
That was
triple
impressive.
A little extra push there.
He had a little wobble, but managed to regroup mentally and physically to make the triple-triple.
Yeah, he got that done nicely. Good flexibility and strength as well in that spin. There's that heel move, that feature, new feature in the spins. Slams that pick into the ice a little bit too early and doesn't get the height or the quickness in the rotation. You can see him look back at his coaches as he came out of that double flip.
Interesting that despite the mistake, the under rotation on the axle and the doubling of the flip, I think obviously good components, but also level 4 on each spin and the step sequence. So well trained and well prepped, and good choreography from Joey Russell, another brilliant addition to that strong team.
Yeah, he's kind of suave in his program. He has a maturity and sort of a real feel for that music, and you see it in the PC scores. He's in the mid to high sixes, so that's going to add to the score. He has a personal best 61.41, season's best of 56, but this score might even be higher. The season's best 66.03, and that puts Grayson into 8th position when you think of it. Wow.
There are 3 men separated by 400ths of a point.
3 men separated by 4 100ths. That's pretty incredible. And that was his personal best. He didn't react a lot on that. It was interesting.
now to a 15-year-old from Sofia in Bulgaria, Deyan Mihaylov. He competed in Ankara. He was top 10 in that event. Big jump up there from his 19th place at his previous Junior Grand Prix last season in Yerevan, Armenia. In this strong field, how can Mihaylov fare? Can he repeat another top 10 finish in the 2024 ISU Junior Grand Prix Series?
Deyan Mihaylov from Bulgaria. Pretty good program for himself. I think there are 3 elements under review at the moment.
At the last event, he had more success on the landings of the 2 most difficult jumps for Deyan, but he lost his change set spin completely, had no value for that. So it'll be interesting to see on the whole. I think this will be a better skate for Deyan and points-wise. However, this field has been consistently high in the mid-60s, so just relative as we look at the flip.
Yeah. There's the triple flip. A little bit of lean outside the circle. He has to do a 3-turn, keeps the free leg off the ice, so that was good. Saved himself a little bit of points, a few points. There's the triple Lutz into the triple toe loop. Maybe a touchdown with a free foot and another turnout. So he's losing some GOE points on the quality of the landings and those 2 elements. The axle was fine. And here's the spins. And there you go.
It's interesting though for Dan. I wonder, it just seems like a big progression from last season, and everything about the packaging seems to have taken a giant leap forwards, and just wonder what's going to happen for this young man moving forward next year.
Yeah, just 15 though. He's going to be around on the Junior Grand Prix for a couple more years, I would think, I would suspect. And he had the flying camel swim at 3, steps at 2, so some potential points there to get, I don't know, I want to say easily, but certainly within reach. And his 52.97, he may very well top that score here with this program.
And I suppose it's interesting because he lost the spin last time, but for a skater to have the mistake on the jump landings, they're the pride points, I think, for a lot of the skaters. It's want to get the jumps done.
Exactly. He had to turn out 2 of them, so that will be a bit costly. Let's take a look at score.
Deyan Mihaylov is Bulgaria.
Deyan Mihaylov from Bulgaria, 54.89. That is the season's best for him, and that'll put him currently into 13th place.
He has earned in the short program 54.89
okay. They're sat there. That's good. They didn't leave.
So last year, Adam Hagara won a junior Grand Prix for Slovakia. Last week, another different Slovakian skater, Luka Imedashvili, won for Slovakia. Can Adam Hagara replicate what he did last year and what his compatriot did last week? He's been nursing a small injury since he competed in Ostrava, but he's incredibly experienced, and this, like others that we have seen already in this event, will be the last, potentially the last short program in the Junior Grand Prix for him.
And as we mentioned, something's happening in Slovakia in skating. It's exciting. Well, Adam Hagara from Slovakia, this is the best short program I've seen this young man do. And perhaps it was because Luka Imedashvili wins last week in Gdansk for Slovakia. And he says, okay, now the bar has been set, not only internationally, but in my own country. I need to show up, and he certainly did it. That triple axel entry was just amazing. And he gathers out of that 10.51 points. He has a 2.51 GOE score on that triple axel. Amazing.
And that even higher than Jacob Sanchez, the current leader. And I think Adam must be one of the most organized 18-year-olds because of his schooling, and plus the fact that Now he's in his 4th season of doubling up as a junior and a senior. He's done all the ISU championships available, Junior Worlds, Senior Worlds, Europeans. So organized and efficient, and now wanted to go out with a bang on the junior season.
And you mentioned about his calmness at the rink as we take a look at the triple Lutz, triple toe with absolutely no problem. He gathers 11.53 on that. His calmness, just in speaking with him, and you can see that here. He's so confident. Look at that twizzle coming into the triple axel. Like it was nothing. It's just beautiful. And so he is well set up to be consistent in seniors, as he is here in juniors as well. And motivated by his teammate, who took the title last week. He's going to want to, because I think Adam was a bronze medal winner in week 1 in Riga, I believe it was, or maybe it was also, I'm not sure, but
yeah.
Ostrava, yeah.
And
so
actually,
he wants to go out with a gold.
Yeah, and actually, having placed in the podium at the World Junior Championships, Adam has facilitated more entries on the Junior Grand Prix for Slovakia and at Junior Worlds next year. Can he go over the 80-point marker for the first time?
We'll find out. 78.03 is his personal best, but here it is, 80.90. He breaks the 80-point mark. Season's best for Adam. That'll put him currently into 2nd place, about 5 points off of Jacob Sanchez, just over 4 points over off of Jacob Sanchez from the United States. Great job.
As we so often see in the closing seconds before their name is announced to the arena, skater walking through the takeoffs, knowing how crucial and valuable they are, as Arttu Juusola, representing Finland, takes to the ice. He, the eldest man in this event, and he said after Riga, he cannot wait for the next Junior Grand Prix competition. Another man in his final Junior Grand Prix short program.
Well, 19-year-old Arttu Juusola from Finland. And he has absolutely his own style. And really a big jumper. You see that on the triple lutz, triple toe loop. Unfortunate fall on the flip. But some really wonderful qualities. He has, coming out of his first Junior Grand Prix this season, 54.23. He's going to be probably around in that area, maybe a little less. But his personal best is 62. And we'll take a look at some of the elements. Go ahead, Mark, sorry.
He increased the difficulty of the combo, swapped around the planned program content. He did toe-toe in his first Junior Grand Prix this season. Here, Lutz toe.
And nicely done, too. And here's the problem with the flip. Looked good in the air and just kind of collapsed and sat down. That was weird because that was a wonderfully executed triple flip takeoff and rotation, double axel into inside spread eagle. That was nice.
And within the context of the choreography, Arttu had lots of nuances through the arms and through the head, through the hands, but the presentation component is lower as it was at his first Junior Grand Prix, and I think that the content is right, just the delivery needs a little increased injection of commitment for Arttu, because that has now been consistently his lowest program component, of the three.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. It's there. It's just not presented at the higher level. Like, he does the choreography, but it's not, I don't want to say it's not sincere. It's just not, you know, what's the word? It doesn't jump out at you. And we've seen some programs. Yeah, conviction. There you go. Thank you for that.
I was floundering around trying to help you and didn't know where to go, but yeah, conviction, I think.
Your floundering was helping my floundering. Okay, 50.63 for Arttu Juusola from Finland, and that'll put him currently into 17th place, and clearly not pleased with that. He's a better skater than that. Bit of a tough skate here this afternoon or tonight.
And brings him currently to the 17th place.
Well, this group of men in this group seem to comprise of many who are in their final ever Junior Grand Prix, and this the same for Raffaele, Francesco, Zich, who said that for him skating is basically a dialogue because I have to make people feel great emotions. And I thought it's a wonderful way in which to interpret how he feels about his art and his craft, and hopefully we'll be able to feel emotion from this performance from Raffaele skating to Ebony, See My Baby.
Raffaele, Francesco, Zich from Italy has his own style, that's for sure. It's kind of cool. And coming off that injury, this is his first time out in this season, and maybe just a little bit rusty on checking out some of the jumps, but he fought through everything.
It's such a unique character. It gives me like a Daisuke Takahashi, Dennis Ten kind of vibe. There's a coolness about his movement, and actually it's so hard to be cool. You have to have such a good foundation of comfort in your blades to play that role. And he does.
And in your personality. It's not just, There's the triple axel. Pretty good takeoff, nice and straight in the air, a little bit too far back on the heel, and has to take the fall on that. But good mechanics on the takeoff. There's the triple lutz. A little bit forward, so it doesn't carry a lot of speed up into that. He was going to go for the triple toe, wisely doubled it. And then a little bit later, the triple flip. And that was a little bit of a rough landing, but gets it done. And here we see him sort of working the choreography. Oh, okay, that's the end of the program. I thought you were giving me the step sequence.
I thought so too. And Raffaele had bad injury, but I saw on his social media an amazing example of the rehab, and it looks like he's had wonderful support from sports science, super professional support to get him back in the competitive arena, and great to see him back, just not what he'd hoped for in terms of the skate.
Well, 64.67, and that'll put Raffaele currently into 11th place. But not bad for coming back off an injury. Season started here in Ljubljana.
And actually, we've seen other events where the top 10 had 54 points, so that the 64 in this event to get in the top 10 is indication of a high-scoring event. As we look ahead to the final competitor in the men's short program, and what a moment this is! His final Junior Grand Prix short program in his hometown, in his home rink. David Sedej, so hopeful that he'll skate a clean skate, working through the triple flip and the triple lutz triple toe, which he will need to have success in his home.
Love.
From Slovenia, David Sedej finishes this event, the men's short program, with a really strong performance at home in front of friends and family in his last season in the Junior Grand Prix. He'll be moving to senior as he also graduates into university life. So you see some of his colleagues in the stands coming off the ice with a big smile, and that is so nice to see that for David. He's improved so much in the past few seasons. The maturity of his skate and his choreography.
Isn't it cool? Because
the elements.
He'll have had so many experiences in this venue, so many times being here, and this is the culmination of so much hard work.
Skating right at home comfortably. Triple Lutz, great flow in between. Nice triple toe loop, a little higher. And the double axel here. He had it in the program, plant program as a triple, but I think he just said, no, let's go clean here. And the triple flip a little bit later in the program was right on top as well. Good posture, much better now. Strong back.
And celebration for longtime coach Katarina Berja as well, who's been with him and supporting him. And we've seen them sitting in the kiss and cry, where she's had to console and comfort him after difficult skates. And now what a time to skate well. And I'm sad to see as we're seeing some of the inputs that it might not be a personal best. It would have been lovely to finish the Junior Grand Prix short program in a personal best, but the free skate to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the coaches, when they work with these skaters for so long, you see them come in as little kids, really, and they continue to progress and grow, and you don't know where it's going to go. And here he is going on to university and maybe into the senior category, and you've lived a life with him. 58.78 for David Sedej from Slovenia, and that'll put him currently into 13th place. Nevertheless, despite the numbers, that was a great skate for David as he closes out, or begins to close out, his Junior Grand Prix career. And we'll see more of that over the years, of course. As we take a look at the final standings in the men's short program, and this will conclude day number 1 in Ljubljana. As we take a look at the standings, 85, 80, 70. Big lead between Adam Hagara and Habin Choi from Korea. 10 points separate second from third, but after that, 70, 69, 69, 68, 68, 66. Wow, that's close from third all the way down to pretty much 9th or 10th position. Well, that concludes our coverage here on day 1 from Ljubljana, the men's short program. Tomorrow will be the rhythm dance, followed by the men's free program. Medals will be rewarded tomorrow. For all of us here at the ISU, I'm Ted Barton, along with Mark Hanratty. Thank you for watching. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for the rhythm dance.
Since you felt like this, been a while since you felt like this, been a while since you felt like this, there must be something wrong. I guess I felt. Since you felt like this, there must be something wrong, bro.